These are Medeni Arifoğlu's images at the hospital. Businessman Arifoğlu lost his life due to health violations in prison. The businessman, who was arrested after July 15, was kept in prison persistently, even though he had a recent liver transplant. His appendix burst, but he was not taken to the hospital for 3 weeks. Then he was diagnosed with cancer. The detected tumor was not even told to him. The tumor grew rapidly and the cancer spread to the whole body because it wasn't treated. He was all skin and bones when he was released. In fact, he had been abandoned to die in plain sight. You will watch the story of Medeni Arifoğlu. He is only one example from tens of thousands of people who are victims of the regime as political genocide in Turkey. Medeni Arifoğlu was one of the most famous businessmen of Bingöl, a city in Turkey. Because of his trustworthy personality, he was known, loved, and respected. He was the president of Bingöl Entrepreneurial Businessmen Association. His father, Hacı Arif, was one of the most important merchants of the region, but he could not keep up with the conditions of the 1980s. Medeni Arifoğlu succeeded to enroll at university with many of his fellow Bingöl citizens. This golden generation who studied with difficulties did not forget the next generations. Mr. Arifoğlu supported and portrayed incredible effort in the development of schools and dormitories. The leading figures of the state held most of their public meetings in these friendly educational centers. Arifoğlu was honored by politicians and was hosted at the meetings. He even received an award from Prime Minister Mr. Erdogan in 2012 for his contributions to the Bingöl economy. He also had been pursuing his profession as a financial advisor. When the police arrived to take Medeni Arifoğlu from his home, they realized he was in the middle of prayer. His wife asked the policeman to wait until he finished his prayer. She even told the police that they were welcome to pray if they wanted. However, the policeman shied away from praying in the home of Medeni Arifoğlu, a terrorist. This was because he was told that Mr. Arifoğlu and the members of the Hizmet movement were ruthless monsters. He was advised not to trust them.
Medeni Bey yatak odasına namaza gittiği zaman koridorunda polis bekledi. Ben de orada Medeni Bey namaz kılıyor. Abi dedim, siz de müsait, ortamımız müsait, abdest yerimiz de müsait dedim. İsterseniz siz de abdestinizi alın, namazı kılın. Ben de namaz kılıyorum dedikten sonra ben şu an can güvenliğim bu evde yok dedi. Ben namaza durdum da siz silahımı almayacağınız garantisi var mı? Siz evinizde olmadığınız kadar güvendesiniz şu an dedi. Bizden size zarar gelmez dedim. Biz düşmanımıza zarar veren insanlar değiliz. Adam bir baktım gözleri dolmuş. Yani çok mutlu oldu o gün oraya geldiğini. Bizim öyle insanlar olmadığımızı gördü zaten de.
Mr. Arifoğlu, taken into custody on 25th of July, was arrested after 3 days. His property was seized, he was imprisoned at Bingöl, and after 20 days, transferred to Malatya. He suffered from health problems during his detention in Malatya prison.
Malatya Turgut Özal Tıp Merkezi'nde nakil olmuştu. Bu nakli yapan Sezai Yılmaz Bey böyle bir hastanın içeride yaşayamayacağını, bu içeride tutulmaya devam edilirse organ kaybını yaşayacağına dair rapor vermişti.
Mr. Arifoğlu was taking 19 pills a day due to his liver transplant. Medeni's appendix burst in prison and went undetected. He was not taken to the hospital for 3 weeks until one evening he knocked on the iron doors and asked for help, saying, "I'm dying." The importance of his situation was understood in the emergency unit. His appendix had ruptured and he was slowly poisoned. In short, he had come back from being on the verge of death. Mr. Arifoğlu was put in prison again after 21 days of intensive care. In July 2018, a 5-centimeter tumor was detected in his kidney. It was not told to him. No information was provided regarding this tumor. When he was taken to the hospital in November 2018 after many painful days, it was noticed that the tumor had grown up to 14 centimeters. After that, the violations against his life continued to increase. He was brought back and forth between Malatya and Adana prison because there were no prisoner rooms in hospitals. He was not taken to the hospital for months. He was taken to the emergency room several times a day as they tried to relieve his pain with painkillers, but the cancer had metastasized to his neck. It had ruptured the bone in his neck. His arm was not working and he was unable to walk. After a long struggle, he was hospitalized. The tumor in his neck was removed, but it was too late for his kidney. The tumor had also spread to the main arteries and surgery could therefore not be performed.
Savcıya gittim. Savcıdan refakat aldım. Rica ettim. Yani ölebilir dedim eşim bana, bunu çok görmeyin. Bırakın yanı başında olayım. Eline bir bardak su vereyim. Refakat aldım. 35 gün 4 bir komutan, bir infaz memuruyla aynı odada sabah gidip akşama kadar ihtiyaçlarını görmeye çalışıyordu.
Karaciğer nakilli bir hastanın cezaevinde olmaması gerekiyor. Çünkü her açıdan direnci düşük bir hasta bu. Tüm hastalıklara karşı direnci düşük bir insan ama ısrarla tutuldu. Apandisi de patladı. Genel yoğun bakımda canını zor kurtardı. Çıkarıldı. Tekrar cezaevine konuldu. Israrla cezaevine konuldu.
Medeni Arifoğlu was released in March 2019 as a result of the efforts of his wife and Mr. Gergerlioğlu. The forensic medicine unit, who had previously reported that there is no obstacle for him to stay in prison, gave a postponement of the sentence. Yet, it was too late. In fact, it was like a funeral was delivered to the family. Medeni Arifoğlu's murderer was quite obvious.
Hasret kaldı. Çocuklarıyla bir masada oturup sohbet etmekti. Yemek yerken sohbet etmekti. Hiç yapamadı. Çıktıktan sonra yüzünde hiçbir gülümseme yakalayamadık. Hiç gülümsemedi. Ukteleri vardı, keşkeleri vardı. Ama artık Medeni Bey bitmişti. Artık son demlerinde tahliye olması hiçbir anlam ifade etmedi.
Medeni Arifoğlu died on January 25, 2020, after 9 months of his release. There is nothing that can be done for Medeni Arifoğlu anymore. But there are still 1,334 seriously ill patients in prisons. The thousands of people who were unable to live in prison conditions and were dragged to death in plain sight.